I collect seashells, not a few, hundreds, thousands, gathered over the years of walking the beach. I could not tell you what exactly the draw is. Maybe it's the beauty, the mystery. Each one feels as though it has its own story, and it finds its way to me. Feathers were different. I usually left them alone. Honestly, I always wondered whether they were clean. A few weeks ago, that changed during one of my beach therapy sessions, which, by the way, is so much better than sitting inside an office. My client bent down and picked up a feather without a second thought. Something about that simple move stayed with me. Over the next few days, I found myself noticing feathers, and I began picking them up too. 3 days ago, I went for a long snorkel, swimming down the shoreline to a stretch of rocks and back, more than a mile altogether. Underwater, the beach becomes a whole new world. Many of the shells that look empty when they're washed to sand are still very much alive beneath the surface. I came across what I believe was a lightning well, beautiful, intricate, and fully inhabited, so of course I had to leave it where it belonged. Anyone who wants to know what truly lives under the shore should put on a mask and look beneath the surface. What appears ordinary from above becomes quite extraordinary. Somewhere in the middle of that swim, I started to talk to God and to my mom. When my sisters and I were young, we sometimes asked for small signs, just something that would help us feel like we were heard, like we weren't alone. So I asked my mom that day, if you are with God, if you are okay, let me see a feather in the water. I'd never seen a feather while snorkeling, not once. Then I thought about my brother who died years before, and I asked again, Mom, if you are with him and you guys are okay, let me see a feather. I kept swimming, nothing. Eventually, I even began to talk out loud. Mama, where's my feather? As I reached the shore, I softened. That's all right, I told her. I know it was a big ask. The next day, I walked the beach with my daughter, and I almost told her, but I stopped myself. I felt too vulnerable. Maybe it was too sad. Maybe it was like a failed prayer. Then came the storm. Storms stir everything up. They uncover what has been buried and carried unexpected treasures to the shore. So this morning I woke up, determined to get my steps in, and certain that the shelling would be good. I walked toward the pass, and where the beach opens wide and the water runs bright and clear, and there, resting in the shallow water, was a feather. Not just any feather. A soft, unmistakable pink feather from a Rosetta spoonbill. I had never seen one on the beach. In fact, I had never seen anything like it anywhere in my life. My mother's name was Rose. It will be 2 years this August since she passed, and some days it still feels like yesterday. I say that as someone who spends her career helping other people through grief. Even I sometimes catch myself thinking, I should be further along by now. But grief does not work that way. It doesn't follow a schedule, obey a timeline, or move in a straight line. It has its own rhythm, its own tide, its own mysterious way of returning. Grief is not the absence of healing. Grief, it's love. Love with nowhere to go. Faith, hope, and love remain, and the greatest of these is love. What carries me through all of it is not the absence of sadness. It's my faith. It's the faith my mother gave me. My love for God, my love for myself, and my love for others. And now a deep certainty that she is all right, that she is home. There's an old joke about a husband and a wife who get to heaven together. The husband looks at his wife and says, 10 years of whole wheat bread, no sweets, and all that exercise. And I could have been here a decade sooner? It's kind of funny, but beneath the humor is something worth considering. If we truly believe what we profess, if we believe what we say we believe, then we don't need to be so afraid. In the end, the only thing that was ever meant to matter was love. Faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. I don't know whether that pink feather was from God with a little help from my mother or my brother, or simply the ocean doing what the ocean does so beautifully, cleansing the soul, in carrying gifts to the shore. But I do know this. 3 days earlier, I had asked out loud in the middle of the water for a feather. 3 days later, one arrived. Pink. On a morning when I woke up certain something good was going to happen. I'm not sharing this to convince anyone of anything. I am sharing it because I am holding a pink feather in my hand, and suddenly I feel the need to tell people, pay attention. The connection you are searching for may be closer than you think. It may not come when you ask for it. It may not arrive in the way that you imagined. It may show up after you've decided the moment has passed and your prayer has gone unanswered. Maybe it was your mother who first taught you that you were loved. Maybe it was your father, your grandmother, a sibling, a friend, or someone else entirely. Someone somewhere may have planted the seed inside of you. The belief that you were watched over, that you matter, that your life matters, and that you do not need to be afraid. Whether you have a name for that presence or not, it's still worth listening for. Because if a pink feather in the middle of an ordinary morning can teach us anything, maybe it's this. Love finds a way to reach us, even after we've decided it's not coming. Stay open, keep asking, keep looking. Sometimes the answer arrives on the very morning you've stopped expecting it, carried in by the tide as softly as a blush from rose. And that is the story of my pink feather.